What's going on? Welcome back to the Climb the Pocket YouTube channel. My name is Steve with my co-host, as always, Ryan McGinley. You can find him on Twitter at Bootleg Fantasy. Find me at Steve_CTP. We got a good video for you today. A lot of people's favorite, a mock draft. We're going to be doing a 12-team PPR mock draft with a different starting lineup. We're going to be going quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receivers, tight end, a flex, a defense, no kicker. People still like the defense, but then we're going to do 6 bench spots. Ryan, what's going on, man? Why don't you go ahead and introduce our little giveaway we got going on?
Well, first, to break the ice, is my hat tan line terrible? Can you see that?
You can see it.
Is it like straight? So, I sat out in the sun for way too long, so I'll probably put my hat back on. Yeah, but our giveaway, Steven, one of us, not me, got a little frisky on Pristine Auction. This isn't a plug yet until, we might get a sponsor down the road. Pristine Auction. And somebody decided, hey, I need all this memorabilia for my man cave. And it wasn't me. I don't know who it was. But they might have bought more items than they expected to. And they came away with this beautiful Keenan Allen signed mini helmet. But apparently, it's not going to make the cut for their man cave, so they want to give it to the subscribers here. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, right now is the best time to, because if you subscribe, you leave your Twitter handle in the comments below. If you go to our Twitter, the full details are there. But just make sure you're entering that contest, because that Keenan Allen helmet, that's sick. I'm about to make a couple burner accounts.
I got it right in front of me right now, showing the screen, guys.
Oh.
You're going to want to enter to win this. It's sweet. Telling you, we've given away some memorabilia before, and this might be the coolest thing because I think Keenan Allen is one of the most bad players in the NFL. Like, he's a bad man. Love it. Go over to Climb the Pocket Twitter at Climb the Pocket and enter in the giveaway. It's pretty easy. The directions are on the screen. Just got to sub to the channel, retweet, tag some friends, comment on a video. That's it, and then you're entered to win. And right now, if you enter, your chances are good. This is going to go on for a few more weeks, but you're not going to want to miss out on the opportunity to win this. So sub to the channel, like the video, spread the awareness. We really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get into the mock draft. I love doing these things. Guys, you cannot do enough mock drafts before draft season, and this is the time. It's draft season, whether you believe it or not. It's July. Once July's over, August is here, and people are doing drafts every weekend. So we did a random order right off the bat, and I don't see – what do we got? All right, I'm in the 3 spot. You're in the 5 spot. So we're pretty close to each other. Forget what we had the last draft, but I know it was pretty close as well. You were 1.
You were 4, maybe?
Maybe four. But so off the board first, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook. I like when these mock drafts go how they're probably going to go in real life. They are the consensus number 1 and 2 players, no doubt. And at the 3 spot, I don't know if I love the 1 through 5 spot this year. You got to choose which player you feel most comfortable with. I'd almost rather have that 7 or 8 spot and just take whatever like top tier, that second tier guy, running back is left. I like your spot at 5, but I think 7 or 8 might be the sweet spot this year because I like the top 8 running backs. So I'm gonna have to probably decide between like a Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry. I can't convince myself to draft Saquon Barkley this year. I don't know why. He's probably going to be so good. It's probably going to be awesome. I don't know. I'm not like a huge Giants guy, but something about it, man, I don't know. I haven't drafted Barkley. I'm not going to draft him just to take him in a mock draft. I'm going to take Henry here. I know it's a PPR league, but this guy's just a beast. He will have his down games where he doesn't score a touchdown, and if he's going to have like 98 yards rushing and get you 9.8 points, like that's going to happen. But he scores a lot of touchdowns. So I'm just going to take my chance with that here, number 3. Like I said, not the best. Saquon Barkley probably would have been a much better pick with the PPR upside. But Alvin Kamara goes off, and Barkley's still there for you if you'd like him.
I mean, that's who I'm taking.
Yeah.
Like I've touched on before, if you throw out a couple of thirst trap pictures, I'm going to be in on you that week. And Saquon Barkley put out some pictures that looked like he had a 1990s sci-fi movie in his thigh, bro. Did you see those? Did you see his thighs? They're unreal.
I don't think I did.
Dude, like, there's muscles in his legs that I didn't even know existed, and he looks all the way back. I mean,
yeah, I'm constantly reminded by that Sports Illustrated body issue. There's always pictures popping up, and it's not something to look at, but his legs are crazy. It's insane. It's popping up on my timeline. I'm not doing anything. I think it's these Giants fans. Giants fans are all over Twitter,
how many
liking
beers,
naked pictures of Saquon Barkley.
I want to talk to whoever is doing the rankings at Fantasy Pros. I know there's multiple people that do rankings here. Somebody has him at 34th. I'm drafting him.
Saquon
Yeah,
Barkley
there's nothing else I have
overall
to talk
or at the
about there.
position?
So we go all the way around the turn. After Saquon, we get Travis Kelce was the next pick.
It's
The
gonna be very common for him to go in the top 10 picks, I think, this
yeah,
year.
I feel like that's been happening a lot,
It's
and like
PPR too.
yeah, I get that, but like, are we still? I feel like the Travis Kelce first round of love might be coming like a year or two late. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
he's not 28 anymore. I think he's 30, 31. I don't know,
The
man.
the fantasy
I like
consensus
Travis
is
Kelce.
very responsive from
One,
the year
Travis
before.
Kels, which we learned this week, he's pronounced Kels, and like I like him a lot as a player. He seems like a hilarious human. I don't know, man. You like looking at your fantasy team and feeling how beautiful it is, and like Travis Kelce doesn't do all that for me. I don't know why, but in the first round it doesn't hit the same as like getting him in the second round. But after Kelce, I went Taylor, Devontae Adams, Eckler, Elliott, Chubb, Tyreek Hill to round out the first round. Solid picks. And then Aaron Jones, A.J. Brown, Cam Akers was the next running back after Aaron Jones, ahead of Harris and Gibson. And now I'm sitting on the clock. Seems like a running back tier break. We've got Mixon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre Swift, my nemesis, Chris Carson. Wide receivers, we got Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Michael Thomas. And, I mean, you have Darren Waller, tight end, and George Kittle. I feel like I've got to go wide receiver. You kind of have to play safety. Calvin Ridley's the number one. But, I've taken Calvin Ridley in a couple of these mock drafts, so I'm going to switch it up, Steve. I'm going with Kirk Cousins, number one, homie.
Ooh.
Justin Jefferson. Bang. Welcome to the team.
Are you completely set on him being like a second round pick like that? I know you just
I
took him,
am.
but like I
I
a lot
listen,
he's been one of the more hyped up second year guys
yeah,
in a while. He had a
yeah.
great rookie season, but
I'm not going to
he's
argue
mid second
with
round.
his year last year for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, that was unbelievable. Is there tape on him now? For sure, but he's in the same tier as DeAndre Hopkins, I guess, this year, getting drafted. I feel like he's like half tier below Hopkins. He's like a tier below Diggs and AJ Brown. Like if you feel like he's got more to give you this year than his great rookie season, I mean, it seems like a great value. If he gives you his rookie season last year, you're getting your money back. Just kind of comes down to Kirk Cousins, and
Yeah.
that's a scary game to play.
All right, so I'm on the board. I have Derrick Henry already, so I don't have a lot of catches. For receptions for this PPR league. Wide receivers are a little more important in this three wide receiver set that you got to start. Certainly looking at Calvin Ridley here. I love Keenan Allen a lot. DK Metcalf is still there. That's very enticing, even though he
Keenan
doesn't
Allen.
catch a lot of ball. I know Keenan Allen. It would be very fitting if one of us got him in this draft. When I think about the running backs, no one's really catching my eye. This is kind of a bleh tier. I really think David Montgomery out of these is the best that I would take. Just I know there's a lot of hype coming up. I know. Hey, I know Dave Montgomery.
He's not going to make it back to
It's
you
a
after you
channel
get
right
the
here.
pick,
It's a
Steve.
Dave Montgomery channel for sure. But I feel like I really need to attack the catches. I'm gonna go with Calvin Ridley. We've seen multiple 10 catch games out of him. Julio Jones is out of there. He's gonna see more targets. And Calvin Ridley's a beast. Matt Ryan's got a itch for him downfield, and that's going to continue to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and take Calvin Ridley here with my second pick. And off the board goes DK, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darren Waller, Patrick Mahomes, and it's back to me. Dave Montgomery is still on the board, along with some other running backs like Chris Carson, Dobbins, and Swift. I think that's kind of a tier break. Then Miles Sanders is kind of in like a weird tier on his own. And then you got Gaskin Davis. Keenan Allen's still there. So between these picks, it's between Keenan Allen and David Montgomery for me. Now, I do have quite a few picks until my next pick. I think that's 20 picks or 21 picks or something like that. I'm not going to count. But there's a lot of picks. And if I don't take a running back here, I'm worried what's going to come back. I really do want me some Keenan Allen, though. Because of the video, I want Keenan Allen. I think you could get Keenan Allen, which would still be great for the video. But I'm going to take Keenan Allen. I'm a big Keenan Allen guy right now. Loving Keenan Allen. He's a bad player. Love that. I'm going to take him. Love my wide receiver core right off the bat in this 3 wide receiver PPR league.
So here I am. None of the running backs that you touched on went because George Kittle, one of my favorite guys in the NFL, went right after your pick. So I'm looking at the same guys. I feel like I have to take David Montgomery just based on, how much I've talked about him. I feel like he's in the same category as Chris Carson for pass catching, and I think they've got a higher pass catching ceiling than J.K. Dobbins, which to me seems crazy, but when you look at J.K. Dobbins' stats, you're kind of disappointed in his pass catching ability. I know Mark Ingram's gone, but he didn't really see a ton of the field last year, and Gus Edwards can't catch a lick. I don't know if it's just how their offense is set up where the running backs aren't really pass catchers, which, it kind of seems that way. So I'm steering away of J.K. Dobbins in PPR formats just because I feel like he's limited by his inability to be great out of PPR settings.
Lamar also likes to say a little screen passes right over his head.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping people would read between the lines, but yeah, Lamar's not good on those short passes on the bubble screens. But
yeah,
I'm looking at Demont. I'm looking at Chris Carson. They're similar. I feel like Carson has more game-breaking ability. Like David Montgomery is pretty safe. They're projected within 10 points of each other. And DeAndre Swift is there as well. I like Swift, but I don't love Swift. People know that I'm kind of leery about his ADP. Right here, you can definitely make the argument. But if you go back a video, you listened to me and you said, Ryan, you said you were going to take David Montgomery over DeAndre Swift. I'm in that situation right now, and I'm taking him. Done. David Montgomery, welcome back to the squad.
Absolutely. We're David Montgomery truthers right here. Didn't know it wasn't always that way, but the light is showing. They're saying they're going to give him 20 carries. That's not strictly why. We were David Montgomery people before that, and now we just seem like smart people.
Yeah, I mean, I've been
a lot of wide receivers.
Demont drum. Yeah,
a lot of wide receivers, like a big, nice group of wide receivers as well.
And then Chris Carson's still available, which is interesting to me. Well, so now I'm just staring down the barrel of a weird-looking team. I feel like in a PPR format, you got these two. Oh man, but Cooper Kupp's there too. So Deontay Johnson's available, DJ Moore's available, Cooper Kupp's available, Tyler Lockett. Those are the best players available. I look, Deontay Johnson has a Week 7 bye, as does Justin Jefferson. It's dicey, but you kind of have to just play and hope that the guys you take will get you to a point where you can kind of eat a week. But I don't love doing that. So I'm going to go with one of my other favorites. That's DJ Moore. I've been pretty big on the fact that I think Sam Darnold's an upgrade at quarterback over Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater tried to get DJ Moore killed, which sucks. And I don't know where he just went. Okay, he got picked. All right, we're good. DJ Moore's on my team.
So,
yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
No, DJ Moore is a great pick. I think that was kind of out of nowhere, but I think a connection with Sam Darnold could be something special. I think he's the guy that's going to see a lot more targets than a guy like Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson, I think, has the bigger playability. He's had that pass with Sam Darnold, and I think that will continue. But I like DJ Moore as like more of a possession receiver. I like him to be just more involved, and overall, I think he's more talented. I think he's the most talented receiver on that team.
Yeah, so. He's kind of doing that like he's kind of doing the Brandon Cooks thing where like he'll get his 1,000 yards and like no one really talks about it.
Yeah,
and you kind of feel, he doesn't score enough touchdowns, and he kind of just goes under the radar because he doesn't score touchdowns, and two, like he doesn't put up like crazy yardage numbers to where it's just a slam dunk you have to talk about DJ Moore. So I mean, if he increases his yards just a little bit, he finishes with 1,200 yards this year, and if he scores an extra touchdown or two, he looks great. So big DJ Moore guy.
All right, so I'm back on the clock. I got Henry, Ridley, and Allen. I look great at wide receiver. I also really want Deontay Johnson here or Cooper Kupp. Those are my two guys I'm looking at. But Chris Carson's still there at the end of the fourth round, near pick 46 or so. That seems like a must-have pick right there because the drop-off after that goes to like Myles Gaskin and Jacobs, and I think Chris Carson is ahead of those guys by a decent margin. And I just kind of I'm going to take my chances that Deontay Johnson or Cooper Kupp are there for me on the way back. They might not be, but I already have two great wide receivers. So I'm going to go ahead and take Carson here and just secure my RB1 and RB2. We'll see what happens here. Jacobs, Deontay, Lockett, and Kupp. Man, I almost got them. All three of the guys I just talked about went, so that is kind of unfortunate. I guess in this situation, because that happened, I might be pivoting. I might be going towards the quarterback position. Now, is it too early for a quarterback? Mahomes went in the third. In the fourth was Allen and Murray. I think this year is one of the first years where like going quarterback a little earlier, not playing the like late round quarterback, is more acceptable. There's a lot more game-breaking quarterbacks in the league now that you can draft slightly earlier, and they're going to return dividends for you. They're going to score close to 25 points a game, and that's going to help you win a lot of fantasy weeks. So if I'm looking at quarterback position, it's between Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott most likely, and I think for just the upside overall, oh man, you love what they got in Dallas there with all those receiving weapons, with Zeke Elliott looking great. Dak Prescott coming off the injury, he should be fine. Got injured pretty early. But Lamar Jackson, kind of enticing. I mean, his rushing floor alone is insane, absolutely insane. And he had a really bad year last year passing the football. I feel like he can only go up. I know he's like kind of running like the good stock, bad stock, and it's a buy low right now. I mean, you're getting him in the 5th round. Last year was the 2nd round. So I'm going to take Lamar Jackson here and add him to my team. And I think it looks great. I think Lamar could return pretty good value here in the 5th round. That's probably what will end up going in most drafts, unless you have like a really quarterback-friendly home league. Lamar Jackson in the 5th, it seems nice. It feels pretty good. So moving on goes Kenny Gallaudet, just one pick between you and me. And you're back on the clock with a nice even set at wide receiver and running back.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean that's what we do here, Steve. I'm strictly straight up and down, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, because OCD sometimes kicks in, and then all of a sudden you're not sure where you're going in the 5th round. So looking at the guys that are available, a running back, Mike Davis, Myles Gaskin, ETN, Kareem Hunt. 2 of those guys feel like they should be the majority guys in the backfield, and the other 2 feel like they're complementary guys. I think Mike Davis has a good year, but in the format we're in, you need to be wide receiver heavy, and that's kind of how other teams have drafted. And the wide receivers there, man, they're
this is a weird group.
It is, because
from
this
T.
is
Higgins all the way to like Jamar Chase. It's very tough.
Yeah, and like I like Higgins. I mean, he had a great rookie season, but should he be going? He's wide receiver 25, and Chase Claypool is wide receiver 33. I like Chase Claypool more than I like T. Higgins. They're similar players. It's just a weird, I don't know, man. I just don't like the separation between 2 guys that I feel like will put out similar seasons, and I think there's a pretty good chance that Chase Claypool outscores T. Higgins this year. Ayuk's interesting, but a possible quarterback change halfway through the year if Trey Lance doesn't start there. Don't like that. And I don't really love having you be the quarterback run, Steve. I don't like that you might have started a quarterback run. The quarterbacks available, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert. Out of those guys, Dak is the highest upside. Aaron Rodgers is probably 2, just because I love Russell Wilson. You can't keep burning me. I can't keep going back to Russell Wilson and hoping that I'm going to get a full year out of him.
Every year there's some sort of dead spot, and it hurts you.
Yeah, it just hasn't happened, and you keep playing him because you expect, oh, this is the week he gets 35 after his 12 and his 14.
Yeah,
it's frustrating. So, golly, I hate where I'm at right now. So, I don't really want to. You know what? Mike Davis. Do I go Mike Davis or T. Higgins? No, I don't like T. Higgins. What am I talking about? You know what? I'm going with this guy. I'm going with Juju Smith-Schuster.
I like that pick.
I think he's the safest guy here. I like being safe in the first 4 or 5 rounds, and Juju is the safest guy to me of the guys here. A lot of second-year guys, a lot of guys with bad quarterbacks. And here I am back on the clock. Dak Prescott's gone, so I'm going to have to pivot from what I was hoping to do. And tight ends went, too, so that hurts. So between me picking Juju, Jamar Chase went after, Mike Davis, Dak Prescott. All right, my mind was in the right spot. Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, Claypool. So Claypool went ahead of T. Higgins. I'm just as smart as the automated fantasy pros. So that makes me feel all right. And then Higgins, Judy, OBJ, ETN, Hawkinson, Cooks, Devonta Smith. Back on the clock. I got 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. Let's see. Is there a running back worth sniffing? Myles Gaskin's there still.
Yeah, he's slipping in this draft.
He is, but like, do I believe in the Dolphins' offense? Like, they kind of feel like fool's gold to me. Russell Wilson's the best player available according to Fantasy Pros in conjunction with my roster. I hate it. I want DJ Chark to be good this year, but Urban Meyer has already told him that he plays too small, and I don't love that. Oh man, so I'm kind of looking for flex appeal. This is tough, Steve. I think this is the toughest it's been for a fantasy draft for me,
It's all
or at
right.
least a mock draft that we've
It's a
done.
tough draft. This is a tough one. The ADP is
So
starting to work its way out.
yeah, so I filled out my starters, and well, this guy will eventually be a flex, but the 3 wide receivers I've drafted, Jefferson, Moore, and Schuster, they're pretty like they're high floors, medium range ceilings. So I'm going to take a shot here on who should be the wide receiver 1 in Denver, even though I hate the quarterback situation. I'm taking Cortland Sutton. He was great last year before he tore his ACL. I mean, he was primed to be another breakout wide receiver, and it just didn't go that way with the knee injury. So hopefully this year's the year. I mean, I already talked down about Teddy Bridgewater. I'm getting myself in another Teddy Bridgewater bucket, but that's fine. I think Cortland Sutton's talent will shine through. I think he's the wide receiver 1 in Denver.
Okay, so I'm back in the clock. I do have 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers in that quarterback in Lamar, and I'm looking at Myles Gaskin as well. But the thing is, I'm also looking at Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt finished as a running back 1 last year, and the Browns are just hitting their strides. Like, they're just hitting their stride. They had a great year last year. Some people will say Kareem Hunt, he played in a lot of games without Nick Chubb. His splits were actually better when Nick Chubb was on the field. He wasn't that perfect running back, that perfect handcuff when the starter goes out, he's going to be dominant. He wasn't that. And that's because his role on the team is best fit when there's a starter like Nick Chubb in the game primarily, and then Kareem Hunt comes in to do his thing. And I'm projecting no injuries this year. Nick Chubb's going to be great all year, and I think Kareem Hunt is too. I'm talking him up. I feel so much better about Kareem Hunt than a chance on Myles Gaskin. I know there's not much in Miami. They did bring in Malcolm Brown. Don't know really what to think about that. I think he could get used around the goal line a little bit. He's a bigger guy, plays bigger than Gaskin, and Gaskin got a lot of touches last year. I don't think that's what they want to do with him. So I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt here. Another guy I was considering was like Robbie Anderson or DJ Chark. I just think one of these guys will slip to me in the next round. Another running back I'm looking at is actually taking a shot on Javonte Williams, but I'm going to go ahead and take what I know in Kareem Hunt, that he's going to finish as close to a top 15 back. So getting him as my 3rd running back, it's going to be great in this PPR league. Boyd, Chark, and Anderson go in the next 3 picks. That's very unfortunate because I was thinking about taking one of those guys. And now I'd like to go back to the wide receiver position, but it doesn't look too great right now. Debo, Curtis Samuel, Jarvis Landry, Shenault Davis. Doesn't look awesome. Debo Samuel is someone that, even since the beginning of draft season earlier on in spring, I was taking him as like my wide receiver 2 a lot and feeling kind of comfortable. But now starting to like Brandon Ayuk a little bit more. George Kittle, I guess I just know he's healthy now. And before, for some reason, I kind of forgot about him. Not forgot about him, but realized that he's the leading pass catcher on the team. So Debo kind of seems like the 3 on this team. I mean, even though he's going to be a gadget guy and get, design plays out of the backfield and whatnot, doesn't seem as comfortable. And another similar guy is the same last name, Curtis Samuel in Washington. I just kind of like him a little better because of what they got going with Ryan Fitzpatrick and that he's going to be the number 2 on that team. And I think they're going to pass the ball a lot. They do have Gibson, and they're pretty high on him, but I kind of like the fact that Curtis Samuel is the wide receiver 2 on that team. That defense is good, so they should have the ball a decent amount. Don't think the games will be super high scoring, but he's going to get design backfield carries and whatnot. He always gets a few of those throughout, a couple a game, maybe 1 a game, and he can score on those. And then I think it'll be a pretty good PPR play. So I've been riding this guy all off season, and I'm going to take Curtis Samuel, even though if you look at the best players available right now, he's not necessarily near the top, but I think you got to go get your guys. And what round are we in here? We're in round 7, right? Round 7. I think it's about time that you start getting your guys, fill that roster out with some guys that you like.
Well, here I am back on the clock. Yeah, I'm going to hopefully make a choice that will eventually pan out and probably won't be available in. Are we now in round 8? Yeah.
Yeah.
We are now in round 8. I don't know if this guy lasts to round 8 because his ADP at his position has been quickly rising. That's Dallas Goddard. He's now up to tight end 7. I think when we talked about him a couple weeks ago, he was tight end 9 behind Fant and I think Logan Thomas. So he's now up to tight end 7. The anticipation that Zach Ertz is going to get traded is getting concerning because he still hasn't, and that was a big topic on fantasy Twitter this week that Zach Ertz was still an Eagle. It's getting a little dicey for us Dallas Goddard fans, but that's part of the reason why we're doing these mock drafts is to kind of figure out what you want to do and where Dallas Goddard's going so you can kind of compare him to other guys. I think by the end of training camp, Zach Ertz is gone. I don't know where to. Maybe Buffalo, maybe Arizona, somewhere, But Dallas Goddard, regardless, is the more talented tight end at this junction in their careers. I think Dallas Goddard might see a 20% target share in Philly because it's easy for him to hook up with Jalen Hurts. I think I touched on it. When Hurts started, Dallas Goddard was like a top 5 tight end in yards. There was only 4 games, so, extrapolation season's kind of tough. But the numbers are there, so I really do think Goddard is going to be a solid play. And if you don't get one of the main 4 guys, that's where you go. I think Dallas Goddard has crazy upside.
Big quarterback run. Big quarterback run.
Yeah, that's the issue. I was kind of hoping that one of my guys would fall there. When I say guys, I mean Justin Herbert. I wanted Herbert pretty badly. And then I was going to fall back on Jalen Hurts, who went at the 8-7. So
a lot of good quarterbacks still available, though. Most teams have a quarterback. Now, certainly we cannot use that as an excuse. We can't do that. You got to get yours. But certainly you don't want to be the end of a run. Usually you want to capitalize where other people are, not taking these players. Now these players are available for you.
Yeah, I like 3 guys here. We got Tannehill. We got Stafford. And then we got Burrow. I think Stafford and Tannehill are safer plays. Gosh, I hate being the end of a quarterback run because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 went between my picks. But I can't find myself in a situation where my quarterback is trash and my team grade gets smoked because I lost to you last time. So
yes, the battle is on still.
Yeah, so I'm going to obviously take the quarterback 10 here to make sure my score is higher. But I would take him regardless. Him and Stafford are great picks. Ryan Tannehill, I mean, they re-upped the weapons. They essentially traded out Corey Davis for Julio Jones. And if you're keeping track at home, that will be good for a quarterback. Corey Davis was pretty solid last year, but come on.
Wow.
I think Tannehill may have an MVP caliber season in him. And I've been riding the Tannehill wave since he was in Miami, and I'm super excited that this could be a Super Bowl-like season for those Tennessee Titans, and I think they know it. So ride Tannehill into the sunset, and you should feel pretty good, especially at quarterback 10. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened, but Darnell Mooney just went in the 8th. It seems kind of early. It seems like a random reach. I don't, but I'm looking at the wide receiver.
Been fantasy Twitter a lot. So.
I'm looking at the wide receiver position. There's not much there left though, so I guess it's not completely insane. But hey, the guy that
over Parker,
that I was looking at is still there, and that's Javonte Williams. I think he's got some of the best rookie upside. Him and Najee Harris, and I'm getting Javonte Williams like many rounds later. There's already been talks that he's going to start the season as the starter. Now, we've heard that before with like an old Royce Freeman, but that didn't happen. We got Philip Lindsay in there, but Melvin Gordon seems to he's definitely over that turning point. He's on the decline of his career, and Javonte Williams is a true 3-down running back, and if he can impress in camp and show that he can take on the carries, I don't see why this won't be a 65-35 split for Javonte if he adapts well. So I'm not like projecting that right away. I think it might be more of it might be Melvin Gordon just a little bit, maybe a 55-45 right away. But if Javonte adapts well, I think he can take off running, and that's a good offensive line there in Denver. So I'm gonna take a shot on Javonte Williams. I like to always grab one rookie running back, and getting one down here in the 8th round, it's pretty nice. So we are through the first 8 rounds. That's really like the foundation of a mock draft, is getting through those rounds, and then here just gonna fire off some picks and fill out the rest of that team. So I have my 3 wide receivers. I need to get another wide receiver on my squad. I don't want to force it, but if I look who's left, is Corey Davis, Devontae Parker, Marvin Jones, T.Y. Nothing great, but if I'm going to go for some upside here, I'm going to hope Zach Wilson has a good first year in New York, and I'm going to take a jet and Corey Davis. I'm not a huge Corey Davis guy. I like what I saw last year, but I do think he is a wide receiver 1 there in New York, so I'm going to go ahead and pick him up. He's a wide receiver 1, and I'm getting him round 9, so I'll take it. Not a wide receiver 1 in fantasy, but a wide receiver 1 on his team. Yes.
I'm not going to argue with that. Oh, golly. You look at the running backs. Sheesh.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Well, actually, David Johnson's bad. Yeah. Ronald Jones isn't good. And then you got 2 guys that I'm, pretty solid fans of. Damian Harris, I was talking about him 2 years ago when he had 2 career carries. No one wanted to hear it. Damian Harris, RB1 in New England. Great guy. I'm sure he's going to be the RB1 this year. And I mean, Bill Belichick's known to stick to one guy. And then you got Trey Sermon of the many San Francisco running backs. I'm going to do what you did. And I'm going to take a risk on a rookie running back, Trey Sermon. They're going to rush the ball 500 times in San Francisco. Sorry, George Kittle fans, but he's going to be blocking a lot. Yeah. And I don't love that for him, but I love that for Trey Sermon, who could eventually be as close to the bell cow as possible in San Fran. I mean, it's not like a real thing, but I'm sure he'll see 200-plus touches. So back on the clock, running backs are putrid. Glad I took Trey Sermon there because now you got Cohen, Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary, Gus Edwards. Yikes.
Nice.
Don't love those. Wide receivers, you got Mike Williams, Cole Beasley. Yeah, those are bad. Those are all bad. Those T.Y. Hilton is there. Yeah, Jalen Reagor.
Time to muscle up.
So what I'm going to do, another guy that I've been banging the drum for, Russell Gage.
I like it.
Julio Jones is gone. Russell Gage enters into the fray. I just queued him up because I don't know how to work from the cheat sheet. Russell Gage now on the team. I really like the opportunity for Russell Gage. I know the talk of the town is Kyle Pitts. That's fine. I think Russell Gage is really going to thrive being the 2 in Atlanta. And I think it's Matt Ryan's last stand, so I think they're going to be slinging it.
All right, very tough pick here. Everything slim picking right now. I do not have a tight end yet, so I'm most likely looking at the tight end position. If there's something there I like, no offense there. Not confident in the quarterback situation, but he's probably the most talented guy left. And after that, it's pretty ugly. It's so weird. You look at the list of tight ends, and you're like, no. And then you see a guy like Gerald Everett at 21 that I kind of like better than most of those guys. Just the upside, if I'm going to go for an upside pick. Anyone I pick there could be waiver wire fodder right away. So I think I might skip the tight end position for just one more round and go over and look at the wide receiver position. I am kind of at an even 4-4. I think it's between... Man, T.Y. is just an ugly pick. I'm going to take an even uglier pick. And I'm going with John Brown for the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, look at that face, Ryan. John Brown is the wide receiver 1, I think, on the Raiders. I think he is. I think he's going to be better than Henry Ruggs, and I think he's better than Bryan Edwards. I think the teams trust him. He seems kind of like a guy Gruden would like, a guy he wants to use. Darren Waller's the wide receiver 1 there. Let's not get crazy. But I'm taking John Brown. There's a little shot out there in round 10. Maybe he's going to be good. Maybe he won't miss a bunch of games. We'll see. A lot of defenses going off the board. Noah Fant went right before me. That stinks. I guess I do have Curtis Samuel anymore, but I'm thinking about taking a shot on Logan Thomas. Evan Ingram's there. That's ugly, but his name looks cool compared to other people. I'm going to go with Logan Thomas. I just know what can happen in these drafts when you don't take a tight end or the position you need. They just get scooped up. So I'm going to take Logan Thomas. I will have 2 Washington football team players, and we'll ride that into the sunset.
Bro, they need to figure out a team name because it's tough. if you are in the podcast realm, it's tough to be like, hey, I like all the Washington football players. Like
I hate when people call them football team. Like, it makes me mad.
it's tough to like just get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need, I don't know, the Washington Warriors or the Red Tails, I think was a name they were floating
I was
out.
cool with the red tails, or like the plane. I was cool with that.
Yeah, that looks sick.
I thought it looked cool. It must have been a copyright thing because I don't know how they couldn't have gone with that. But
I mean, I would have gone with that personally, but
yeah,
now that
Warriors sounds good though. Like it sounds
Warrior
cool. It's like a
does,
classic name. I know it's in the NBA, but it's not the first cross sport team. The Cardinals, the Giants, like the Warriors. I like it.
yeah, I just I don't
And it's like
understand. Like,
like Washington D.C., United States Warriors, like strength. It's cool.
yeah, we just anything besides the WFT,
Yeah.
because I always think it's WTF. I get confused. I need something besides that. I need something besides these players that are available because they're trash. Cole Beasley, McCole Hardman, Rager, Aguilar, Henry Ruggs. Golly, it just got worse as I kept reading. Running backs are still bad, and it's still Cohen, still Tony Pollard, Singletary, Gus Edwards. Obviously, no one wants those guys. Since it's a wide receiver heavy league, I feel like I should probably get an. Oh man, I don't know, man. Now that I'm seeing my team, yeah. Well, who's got standalone value at running back? None of these guys. All right, so back to wide receiver. This is how you think on the fly, guys. Well, I'm gonna go with McCole Hardman, wide receiver 2 in Kansas
Oh,
City. Yeah, I don't love the pick. That's the guy you put in your starting lineup if you're just kind of at wit's end and you need a Hail Mary. You need a touchdown out of Hartman. You need a 60-yard touchdown.
yeah,
He's on my bench. Don't worry, I'm ready for him. And now
yeah.
I'm back on the clock, and all the bad running backs went. So we got a new class of bad running backs. We got Latavius Murray, James White, Darrell Henderson, and Philip Lindsay. They're telling me Latavius Murray is a fun pick. I don't really love. Wide receiver is Bateman, Paris Campbell, Christian Kirk, Gabby Davis. Dude, this is bad.
It's
Well, I'm
bad,
guessing,
but it's the last couple rounds of the draft.
yeah. So
Got to
I'm just
bite the
gonna.
bullet.
I'll take a dart throw. I'll take Latavius Murray. Um, he'll score a couple touchdowns. The Alvin Kamara owner is gonna hate me. It is what it is. When you're this deep in the draft, you've had a couple of Celtics, you're gonna make picks like this. So
Yeah,
Latavius Murray.
I was kind of looking at him because I think he's one of the better backup running backs in the
Yeah.
league. If Kamara was to go down, I think Murray would be pretty solid. He has been solid in the past. I'm also looking at the running back position. James White is a guy I'm looking at. Don't like it really at all, but I'm trying to figure out who's left that I would like. Alex Madison would be a decent backup. I do have 4 running backs already, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and take Alex Madison as like a handcuff. If nothing happens early to Dalvin Cook, which I definitely don't want to happen, then he'll probably find his way onto the waiver wire, which is really stupid to even do. Why'd I even draft Madison? There's really no point. But down here and deep in the draft, just going to take that kind of chance. It could separate you, early in the year if anything was to happen. Rashad Bateman, Washington football team defense, Henderson, Coleman. I'm back on the board. Just going to take one of my favorite guys. And that's either Christian Kirk or Gabriel Davis. And I kind of like the offense there in Buffalo, actually, a little more than I do in Arizona. Let me take a shot on Davis. He comes out to be the wide receiver, too, in that league. I never heard that before. Makes me think of Gabby Douglas. And I automatically think he's doing gymnastics.
I'm going to picture Gabby Davis just jumping in over. Dude, she's nasty. She's so sick.
Can't wait to watch. That's probably one of the only sports I'll watch in the Olympics besides ping pong at 3 a.m.
Exactly, and they'll throw a couple shekels on those bets. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But here I am on the board. The guy that I was debating between with Ryan Tannehill 7 rounds ago, Matt Stafford's still there. Classic overthink job by me, but time to take another stab. Kenny Gainwell, welcome to the squad.
Love
Not
it.
a big Miles Sanders
And
guy.
a big
Kenny G. He's the number 1 Kenny G in the NFC East. So.
Go Eagles.
Is that my first Eagle too? No, that's my second Eagle.
I think it's like your 4th Eagle.
Hey, that is only my second Eagle, so I don't need to hear it from you. I would have taken more Eagles if their ADP would have been,
you need a defense, Ryan. Don't forget about that defense.
I'm gonna forget about the defense of the last round.
Do you think leagues will get? Do you think leagues are able to get rid of defenses or kickers easier? Because I think everyone's trying to get rid of both, but like there's always people that obviously it's very hard to get. They're going to vote no to both or to one of them not leaving the league. Which one do you think is more likely for you to get out?
I think that I'm gonna draft real quick.
Go ahead.
I'll go my spiel.
Yeah.
Golly, they all suck, dude. I don't want a Detroit Lions wide receiver. Sorry, Lions fans, if you've made it this far. I appreciate you. I don't want Brashad Perriman. I'm gonna take the Wizard King, Alan Lazard. But yeah, I think that people are quicker to get rid of kickers because there's a variance there that they say. I don't agree. I disagree with the notion that kickers have like a higher like variance in points. I feel like defenses sometimes just win you games. Like if you get 2 defensive touchdowns out of your defense that you picked up on Wednesday, you're probably going to win. And that's like the most frustrating thing in fantasy football, that people love banning the kickers, but you know that the kicker's going to be between, I don't know, just 2 points and like maybe 18 points, depending on if you do like 4 points for 40 yards. Where defenses, there's been weeks where they score 30, and you're like, that seems a bit ridiculous. But here's my big I'm drafting the Colts.
It always happens, though, where there's a couple defenses that are scoring over 20 points. And for a kicker, it's an outlier if someone scores 20 points. It's an outlier if someone scores 17 or 18 points.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes it happens. I mean, if you took Koo last year or Sanders, those guys helped you. I mean, they helped me win one of my leagues with Jason Sanders, and he ended up being the number 1 kicker. And, like, you don't think about it, but he helped me win the league. And I don't really feel great about that. Like, I'm not happy a kicker helped me win my championship, but it did. And I was smart. It was in the league, and I played it. But definitely think kickers are pretty random. I think defenses you can at least play and say, hey, that quarterback on the other team, Daniel Jones, is going to fumble twice. And my defense is going to be there to scoop it up. So,
yeah, exactly.
So like that's a little more predictable, a little more skill in the defense, and they never miss a game. So draft grade, Ryan, what'd you get? Mine's on the board. Mine's on the screen right now. Everyone's looking at it. I got an A-. I got a 90 out of 100. Better than last time, I think. No, I got a 93.
No, you got a 92, dude. I got an 81.
Man,
I got an 81. You know, B- gets degrees, but it doesn't feel too sweet. I guess I got to reevaluate, but that's what the video's for. You know, I'll check the tape. I'll reevaluate where I'm making picks. Do I overthink some things? Yeah, probably. But, you know, maybe I'll take a second quarterback next week, and Fantasy Pros will like that a little bit more. So
Yeah, so as he hinted, we are going to be back. We're going to try to do a mock draft every single week for you so you can keep checking in. We're always going to have that ADP update and show you. Fantasy Pros is pretty good. People are updating their rankings. They show you. But also, we're not just going to draft off those ADPs on Fantasy Pros. We're going to go off of what's going on in the news. If it's not updated here, we're going to take advantage of it on here, and you're going to see it. So whose team did you like better? Go ahead and drop a comment below. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, don't miss this giveaway, guys. Keenan Allen sign helmet right here. It's legit. Beckett certified. That's his autograph right there. And this thing is sweet. I'm holding it up right now, and I want this thing. It's taking every bit of me not to just say competition's canceled. You're not getting this. So go ahead over to our Twitter. Follow the rules. I'll go back to the beginning of the video. I posted the tweet, and you can see what the rules are. So go ahead and check that out. Sub to the channel if you just like the content overall and like the video. It really helps us out. So until next time, we'll see you, I think, later this week, but if not, next week. Peace out.